parts that need to kind of occur so that she can be the player that kind of think that she will?
Yeah, I think Mal is, Mal is still a very young player and actually has accomplished a lot in terms of just where she is in her youth. In comparison to probably some of our senior players at the same time in their careers in terms of age-wise, in terms of being experienced. And I think part of Mal's growth is her, in terms of just continuing to gain confidence in who she is and what she's about. And that's part of a young person growing, right? Because I think when Mal is at her best is when she's got a little swagger to her and she's this confidence to run at players. And I think when you see that, you see the best of Mal. And one of the things, even when she was first with this team, we didn't overcoach her. We said, Mal, be yourself, and I think be expressive. When she does that, she has a lot of confidence in terms of running at players and playing to her strengths. I think sometimes when you come into a team like this and you see players that can, that are looking for final passes, that are good in the air, it is about owning your own qualities. And I think, if Mal stays true to the special qualities that she has and continues to get better in those, I think the sky's the limit for Mal. I really do. I think she's, she's got pace. I think she's a competitive player. I think the mentality piece there, but still one of our youngest players with so many caps. So big answer, but I just think she's committed to getting better. The more time she spends in this environment, the more it continues to push her. She sees different levels. She sees certain things. But I think most importantly, she's got to, she should truly embrace what she is special at.
Steve, then Scott.
Joe, what you just think of the whole scene here? A lot less pressure than the last time the team was together. Just the atmosphere and the whole vibe tonight.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I mean, I think saying to the players, let's really make sure we enjoy this and share the ball. I mean, you keep it simple on nights like this in terms of messaging because, you get where they are in their, in their season and where they are in terms of just coming off such a high. So I think the atmosphere was great. I think the people were, the fans were great. I think playing this is such an iconic stadium to play in. I think that was special. Obviously, a lot of the California players had friends and family here. So I think all in all, it was a really special evening. Sometimes a game can become a bit choppy when you make a lot of subs, but that was what part of this celebration was making sure all these players got an opportunity to be on the field tonight.
Scott, go ahead.
Thank you, Jill. It's been maybe 2 decades now we've been talking about the rise of Europe and what's going to happen in the women's game, and we've certainly seen it in these last couple of cycles. And as you look ahead, maybe the next decade, next 15 years or so, and we see more money going into the European game, more clubs getting interested. We're seeing programs that are just out of their infancy, perhaps, that are starting to really rise. As you look at what's going to happen in Europe over the next 10, 15 years, what does the U.S. have to do to remain in the position it's in, or at least competing to continue to win the championship?
Yeah, and I'll try and give you an abridged version of that because it's a lot of information. Yeah, exactly. But I think I was asked this the other day a little bit, and I think part of it is making sure. If you look at it from just a big picture perspective, you got to make sure what's your pipeline, and that's our youth. And so I think and making sure we have a professional league. I think those two things, have an environment for our senior players to play in, is critical. A lot of those top countries now have top leagues, so I think that has to make sure we continue to grow it. It continues to evolve. It gets better. All those things. So that's important. And then I also think just that making sure that you continue to have the development, and the pipeline, and the IQ of players, and it's not just now technical. It's how they think the game. It's how they play the game. I think that's critical because you saw in that last World Cup, there's so much tactical flexibility now. Our players are really challenged. Everybody should be challenged in terms of just the mental capacity of the game, and thinking the game, and reading the game. And that's why I think we have players that are able to do that. And what I would say, and I was a youth coach a long, long time ago, is making sure that we also we want structure because that's how we are as coaches, but I also think we can't be too structured. We've got to make sure that we continue to let players think and solve the game and not spoon feed them the answers, and more create challenging situations for them to problem solve.
How do you anticipate Rose's role with this team growing and changing over the next couple of years?
She's still one of our younger players, but I think just you can see what Rose's special qualities are. So I think whoever comes after me is going to be a Rose fan. At least I would definitely hope so. So I see her having an extended and hopefully flourishing career at the national team level. I think Rose is going to be highly sought after, I think, all over the world in terms of just, other clubs internationally. But I think Rose is a very grounded young lady, and I think one of her focus points is she wants to get better. She asks great questions, she seeks out information, and I think that's in no way, shape, or form does Rose think that she's at her pinnacle, and that's what I love about her, because I think she's got a long way to go.
Over right here.
Coach, we heard that after the tour you'll be taking on a new role as a U.S. Soccer Ambassador, so congratulations on that. Why was now?
I think the best is coming with me there. I just went there, it was fantastic, so I threw that in. Why did I think it was the right time? Again, kind of, I've said this before, but I think it's a cycle. You look at this, and to do 2 World Cups, it's to start a cycle, finish a cycle, so I feel complete in that sense. I think for, in terms of the program and the development of the program with a new coach, I think giving or having a coach now go through, an Olympics prior to a World Cup, they get to kind of build their team. And then on a personal level, I think, it was a time. I'm not someone that, I love change, I embrace change. I could have stayed in some places for a lot longer, but I think that's just part of who I am. And, I have a family, and it's, sometimes it's, 150 plus days on the road. And I love that part of it as well. But I also just think, the sum total of all those answers is why I felt it was ready to step down.
How do you think this victory tour overall kind of helps keep the message of U.S. women's soccer and kind of keep people thinking about you guys and keeping the fans involved and that sort of thing as this thing kind of carries on?
Yeah, a role model, there's so many different ways this team can connect. I think that's, that's a strong element of this team. And so what does a victory tour do? It allows you to share the trophy, share the moment, share the experience of the summer with your fans. But, I also know that, again, they're victory tour games, but these are now moving into FIFA windows. And there would be games, win, lose, or draw in the World Cup. Those would be windows we want to fill, because you want to make sure that you continue to play and your players get back together. So, because literally, qualifying is next January for the Olympics.
Go ahead, Paul.
We were talking yesterday about your team being so unusually articulate. And give us your take on this. They're so well spoken, they're so out in front on so many issues, and now they've launched this new initiative with Time's Up.
I think it's a combination of things why we get to that point in terms of being articulate. I think they're bright. They pursue their education. I think they're motivated. I think they are used to living now in a spotlight. So I think there's a lot of reasons why they get comfortable in that. And I think being able to express themselves. I've been blessed. I've been around a lot of elite people, and they tend to have a way of expressing themselves, and sometimes it's not always verbal. It's through action. So I think it's just part and parcel of what this team is about and what these players are about. And in terms of this platform for the team, it's it's a massive platform. I think the players recognize that, acknowledge that, and utilize that to move change.
Last couple for Jill. Go ahead.
How much do you expect Alex and Megan will play on this victory tour? Did you have fans imploring you to throw them into the game late at least, or?
Yeah, their coaches are going, heck no. Megan's not back, training. I think, Alex, we put her through a little bit of a workout tonight because we're trying to, bring her along. But that's something that, as a coach, the last thing you want to do at this point is to jeopardize a player's health. And the first thing I said to them when I got them together was the number one priority is to make sure we send them back healthy. Because they've already had a long period, and I think so. In terms of when they're back, it's when they're ready to be back, and that's I think that's the safe answer to say.
Last one right there.
Did any part of this game at the Rose Bowl feel like a homecoming to you, given your history as a coach of the USWNT soccer team?
Yeah, I mean, my daughter's here. She's the last time she walked around here. I think she was like 5. So yeah, I mean, I have obviously a lot of fun memories here, and you know, being watching football games, bringing recruits here, and just spending time with my colleagues. So yeah, it's great. I mean, obviously I spent 15 years in LA, so it's great to be back here. It's a wonderful city, and it was pretty nice to start this tour here. It was great. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. See you in Philly.